This training video will show you how to register and create an account on the financial disclosure system, how to register additional PIN numbers, and how to complete and file your financial disclosure statement. Once you have navigated to the login screen of the financial disclosure system, you will be presented with a login box in the middle of the screen. In the lower left-hand corner of this login box, you will see a link that reads New Registration, Local Government Officer. You will now click on this link to start the registration process. At this time, you will need the information that was provided to you by the local government entity. This information will include the first name, last name, and PIN number that were used to register you within the system. Please note, if you have received multiple PIN numbers, you can use any PIN number that was assigned to you to start the registration process. Once your account is created in the system, you can then register the other PIN numbers that were assigned to you. Let's start by entering your first name, last name, and PIN number that was provided. If the LGE used a middle name or middle initial as part of your registration, please enter that also. After entering the information provided, click on the Validate PIN Number button. If your information is valid, you should receive a message at the top of the screen in green stating that your PIN number has been validated successfully. Once your PIN number has been validated, you can continue with the registration process. Please complete the Personal Information section. After completing the Personal Information section, you will then need to proceed to the Login/Username Credentials section. To create a username, you will need a valid email address. Enter your email address now. Then re-enter your email address to confirm the information. You will need to select the password. Passwords must be between 8 and 16 characters in length and contain at least one letter and one number. Enter your password now. Then re-enter your password. At this time, we ask that you read and review the definition and instructions section. Once you have read and reviewed the definitions and instructions section, you will need to click on the checkbox stating that you have read and agree with these definitions and instructions. You can now click on the Register button to create your account. If your registration is successful, you will be directed to a screen that displays your login information. Please print and save this information for future use. At this time, you can click on the Login button to log into the system. How to file your financial disclosure statement. From the FDS login screen, enter your username. This would be the email address you use to register along with your password. Click on the Login button to access the system. You will now be directed to the home page. There are several tasks that you can perform from this page. You can file your financial disclosure statement. You can manage your various positions. This includes adding additional positions to your account from other LGEs. And you can also edit your profile. The first step would be to click on the Manage Positions link and review positions that are associated with your account. Please note that any positions that are associated with your account at the time of filing your financial disclosure statement will be included with that financial disclosure statement. Any additional positions added to your account after you have filed your financial disclosure statement will require you to file an additional financial disclosure statement for those new positions. Once you are on the Manage Positions screen, you will see a list of positions that have already been associated with your account. To add a new or additional position to your account from other local government entities, you will need to enter the information that was provided to you from those other organizations. This includes your first name, your last name, and the PIN number obtained from the LGE. After entering the required information, click on the Validate PIN number to validate the information. If the information is validated successfully, the new positions will be added to your account. You can do this process multiple times based on the number of PIN numbers you need to associate with your account. Once you have reviewed and/or added your positions, you can click on the Home button in the upper left-hand corner to return to the home screen. If you are ready to file your financial disclosure statement, you can click on the File Financial Disclosure Statement link. Please note that the financial disclosure statement application process consists of 8 screens, representing each section of the form. If at any time you cannot complete the entire form, you can save the information that you have entered up to that point by clicking on the Save button at the bottom of the screen. You will have the opportunity to complete the form at a later time without losing the information you have already entered. Another thing to note of this is that you may review your financial disclosure form with the information has been entered at any time by clicking on the Preview Financial Disclosure Form button. For step 1, review your personal information and add any additional information or make corrections to this information. To proceed to the next step, click on the Next button. For Step 2, Section 2 of the Financial Disclosure Form, you will need to list all sources of income. If you do not have any sources of income to list, you can click on the None checkbox at the top of the screen. As you enter your sources of income, you will have the ability to add multiple sources of income by clicking the Save button after each source of income has been entered. Once you are done entering all sources of income, click on the Next button to proceed to the next section. For Step 3, continuing with Section 2 of the FDS form, you will need to list all fees and honorariums. If there are no fees or honorariums to report, click on the None checkbox. Click on the Next button to proceed to the next screen. For Step 4 and continue with Section 2 of the FDS form, you will need to list all gifts, reimbursements, or prepaid expenses. If there are no gifts, reimbursement, or prepaid expenses to report, click on the None checkbox. You can now click on the Next button to proceed to the next screen. For Step 5 and continuing with Section 2 of the FDS form, you will need to list all business interests held. If there were no business interests held, click on the None checkbox. For Step 6 and continuing with Section 2 of the FDS form, you will need to list all real property in New Jersey which an interest was held. If there is no real property in New Jersey which an interest is held, click on the None checkbox. Click on the Next button to proceed to the next screen. For Step 7, you may enter any comments that will appear on your financial disclosure statement. You will click on the Next button to proceed to the next screen. For Step 8, Section 3, this is the certification screen. In order to submit your financial disclosure statement, you will need to do the following. You will need to read the certification statement listed here. You will need to review the financial disclosure form by clicking on the Review Financial Disclosure Form button. Once you review this form, you can then click and you can save this form. You will need to enter your full legal name, and once these steps have been completed, you can now click on the Submit Financial Disclosure button to submit your financial disclosure form. Please note that once your financial disclosure statement is submitted and filed, the FDS form cannot be amended, changed, voided, and/or resubmitted. Once you click on this button, you will receive a message that your FDS was submitted successfully, along with the confirmation ID and the date and time your information was submitted. You can now click on the Print button to print out a copy of your FDS form for your records. You can now click on the Home button to go back to the home screen and log out of the system. This completes filing a financial disclosure form.